And then the last part that we will be talking about today is our favorite rejected works that we had over the time that we've been doing this. And I'd say my first one that I is one of my favorite rejected works is Fountain by Marcel Duchamp. And the reason that is because of what it caused afterwards, the thinking and the the questioning of what art really is, how is art created, how much do you have to change from something to be art, and thoughtful things like that. I mean, while the fountain is in general just a urinal, what makes it art, but what makes it not art? And that was really what was brought up by that. And I think that really led to a lot more questioning of art, and that really also um, created contemporary art and the type of art that doesn't have many restrictions. It also probably opened the door for like performance arts and things like that, like things that aren't just a painting, um, aren't just a drawing, aren't a sculpture. There's many different facets of art, and I think that like statements and thought pieces that work like this really helped to expand the idea of art. So that's why that's one of my favorite rejected pieces. And it was rejected because at the time it was questioning what art was. And and another interesting thing about this piece is that it was he applied it for an art showcase and it was rejected. And that's what really started the discussion of what is art, what isn't art, by him. Then another one, that's one of my favorite works in the class, is the Nocturne in Black and Gold. And the reason I like this one is because I think it's a really unique interpretation of like the night sky, the way that the black goes into the thing and you could see what's meant to be like water, and the lanterns and the fireworks are up in the sky like drifting off, like kind of like tangled. It's it's an interesting and a more expressive way to look at something that a realistic person would just put the sky, put the thing there. But this is using colors and such to fill in the blanks basically, in a person's mind for what they know they're looking at and what they don't think they're looking at, basically. And it got a lot of harsh criticism. Whistler actually had to sue a critic that called this piece throwing a bucket of paint at the viewer's eyes, I believe is the quote. So it was not accepted during the time period because I mean, obviously, in most cases, that wouldn't be the thing. Also, surrealism as a whole was not accepted during the time period. It was years and years later, after surrealism ended, that it was acknowledged or really accepted as an actual genre of art. Like during the time, like Van Gogh and things like that were not popular, and they were not like didn't I think Van Gogh only sold one painting in his entire lifetime, and now you see how treasured that is, basically. But that's off topic. And then the third piece that I chose for my favorite rejected pieces is definitely the Greenough George Washington. I think for multiple reasons. Because one, I think it is an extremely talented piece. With you see the hair details and the chest and the wrinkles in the fabric and the posing. It is very, very well produced. It is very well done. Like it's the face very much resembles George Washington. You can see clearly who this is meant to be and everything like that. And so like again, creation wise, it is very talented. But the reason it was rejected is very clearly because it was not appropriate and not what they were really looking for. I mean, for one thing, there's many points. So the first one is that in reference to a shrine of Zeus, and this is the like pose and things that's from that. And Zeus is a god. George Washington is an elected president, so many saw that it was not like directly comparing a god and a elected official. It's not really appropriate, and especially in America, like right after getting rid of the monarchy, they're not trying to have a god or a omnipotent ruler type of look, and I think that's what this very much gave. And then also the fact that he was shirtless, that's definitely many people are not trying to see the president in that type of way. It's not considered appropriate attire for that. And I mean, just thirdly, it was not how George Washington himself even wanted to be seen. Like he mentioned that he didn't want to be put on a super high pedestal and idolized like that. So this is very much not pro those wishes anyway. And the way that it would have been accepted is just by doing a more elected official type of statue. Just much like his image, that's like the painted image of him. Just put him in a pose similar to that, like with respect and a fine clothing and a triumphant type of pose, but not a godly like a type of domineering type of pose that like rulers used in the past. And that's why it was rejected, but I still think it's a very talented piece of work. So